All right, folks, at this year's RSAC conference in San Francisco, I spoke with some of the biggest names in the cybersecurity industry, including Richard Seewald. Richard's founder and managing partner at Evolution Equity Partners. He had lots to say for what he looks for when investing in startups, his outlook for the industry, and a lot of praise for one of his investments after it made a big move. Take a look.
It's about backing founders that have the capability to take it from A to Z. And Ian Swanson and his team were sort of the quintessential team set up just for that. Ian had exited two companies before in the AI data science space. He had been the head of machine learning and AI at AWS. So tremendous pedigree. And he brought over a team that complemented him very well. And they were able to build the technology platform, the product platform that was the foundation for three acquisitions that kind of layered different modules on top of their security AI platform. And I think having that strength of best-of-breed founders that understand what best-of-breed technology looks like in a market that is growing in size always helps in getting from A to Z. And I think that team did just exceptionally well in doing that over the last 3 years.
And what was it for you 3 years ago for Protect AI that made you say, right now we may be at A, but I'm confident that we can get to Z?
I'll tell you, it was Ian Swanson and the team. It's all about people. Ian had the personality, the pedigree, the background, and it was relatively clear for us that he would win this race in some way or another. And in fact, he did.
What are some of those top values or personal elements of a company that you look for early on in your relationship with them?
You know, in terms of individuals, it's about persistence. It's about having that proverbial chip on the shoulder to win. And I think, you know, having seen hundreds of founders, maybe thousands of founders, that type of analysis of an individual and their desire to win, what really drives them forward, is extremely important. And you know, tomorrow evening, we're hosting the President's Forum at RSA, and we will be awarding George Kurtz CEO of the Year. George is another example of an individual who, you know, started an ambitious company that became a global leader, but along the way, he had that persistence, that desire to win, the ability to navigate uncharted waters in often difficult situations and come out as a winner. And I think, you know, that is what a founder looks like when it wins, when he wins or she wins. And we're very pleased to give that award to George tomorrow.
Richard, what are some of the biggest mistakes or pitfalls you see younger companies making when they might approach you for an early relationship and they're interested in working together and they want to be in the big leagues, but I wonder what are some of those kind of common mistakes that you see along the way?
Look, I think the most important thing for a young company to establish itself is to make sure that the market, their audience, understands where they are now, where they're going, how they get there. And that's a simple thing to say, but harder to actually execute. And when you're able to lay out that plan and then execute on that plan along the way, buyers of technology tend to flock to organizations who can do that. And going back to George, going back to Ian, they both did that in terms of different levels and different heights, but they were both able to do that, and that's extremely important. Again, maybe a simple topic, but not many companies actually get that right.
Talk to me about things you've learned, even listening to commentary from people like Satya Nadella at Microsoft in terms of where he sees the puck going for some of these emerging technologies in the next 3 to 5 years.
Absolutely, JD. So Satya, had a great statement around the agentic layer, saying that agents will disrupt the application layer. If that's the case, the layer of security that needs to be integrated into that agentic layer is extremely important. You're going to see significant growth in agentic cybersecurity companies over the next couple of years. So we're seeing, some high quality entrepreneurs with vision already stepping into that space and doing extremely well.
How do you see the companies you work with balancing the need for innovation with the need for security and trying to make sure that both are in harmony to a degree and also prioritized?
Yeah, look, innovation and security, I think whenever you're talking innovation, there's always risks that you take in order to get from to hit your target And I think that's inherent in sort of disruptive companies. So you're always going to see that. And the companies that are out there that are addressing the agentic space today are taking some of those risks to encourage the type of disruption that needs to be in place in order to secure that agentic layer.
Richard, what is one lesson of the general VC or cybersecurity space that you personally wish you had learned sooner?
Don't go against your gut. Extremely important. I think over time, judgment, another word for your gut, judgment should allow you to make decisions that actually are winners in the end. And I think those that have that judgment tend to survive and thrive in this industry over a longer period of time.
And finally, what most excites you about not only where this industry is today, but where you anticipate it going in the next few years?
So think of the numbers. You know, McKinsey did a study around where the cybersecurity market goes at the turn of the century, and they're saying $2 to $3 trillion in size. Take that back to the current day. In order for us to get there, there are going to be many more $100 billion companies in the fray. So over the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see more Palo Altos, more CrowdStrikes emerge with significant size and importance in the cybersecurity space.